Sheikh Al-Fayadh became a colossus in the areas of fiqh, of Islamic law, in the areas of Islamic biographies and rijal, but specifically ilm al-usul. He was born in 1930, and then he traveled from Afghanistan to Najaf al-Ashraf, where he would spend the rest of his life until this very day he passed. And then he studied under a number of the grand teachers, Ayatollah Sayyid Muhsin al-Hakim, Qaddasallahu sirra, and particularly where he was tenured and became the protege and the product of all his hard work and years of effort was under Ayatollah al-Udhma Sayyid Abu al-Qasim al-Khoyi, Sayyid al-Khoyi, Qaddasallahu sirruhu al-Sharif, such that he excelled in the realm of Islamic scholarship, and not just any ordinary scholar. He became the scholar's scholar, such that he became one of the grand Maraja of Najaf. Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Sistani would refer back to him in the areas of ihtiyatat. He would say that you are allowed to refer back to either the marhum Sayyid Sa'id al-Hakim, if you were to ask his office, or the Sayyid Shubayri Zinjani, Hafidhahullah of Qom, and now the late Sheikh Ishaq Al-Fayadh. That is to say, according to the opinion of Sayyid Sistani, he is the most a'lam after him, one of the most knowledgeable after him. Sheikh Al-Fayadh was a contemporary of Sayyid al-Shaheed Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr, Sayyid al-Shaheed al-Sadr, and he was his classmate. He was about a little older than him, rather. And so he grew up in the same environment that Sayyid al-Shaheed grew up, but as per his tawadhu and his akhlaq, Sheikh Al-Fayadh would only mention the opinions of Sayyid al-Khoyi, Al-Mirza al-Naini, Sheikh Dhiya al-Din al-Iraqi, and Sheikh al-Asfahani, and Sayyid al-Shaheed al-Sadr. This is important. Why? Because he's his contemporary in his own class, but he has to acknowledge that Sayyid Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr is extremely knowledgeable. I can't not highlight his opinion as well, to demonstrate to you his objective academic honesty. That because I was with him, that doesn't mean I can't mention his opinion. Demonstrating to you and I that ilm doesn't know relationships. Ilm doesn't know if you were with me or you're younger than me or you're older than me. It doesn't matter. Ilm is indiscriminatory in its aspects. Sheikh Al-Fayadh was a great example of that. He wrote one of the longest encyclopedias on ilm al-usul, usul al-fiqh, the study of the principles of jurisprudence, from all areas of bahth al-alfaz to bahth al-ta'arud to al-mulazamat al-aqliya to al-ilm al-ijmali to al-istishab, to all of these discussions on ilm al-usul. He wrote the longest encyclopedia of 15 volumes, which is one of the most impressive works to ever compile, the longest there ever was. And he constantly would update his opinions and refresh and optimize the rulings and terms. And it was only a few months ago he stopped teaching. He died at the very incredible age of 96, teaching and disseminating the ilm of Muhammad, and he never stopped until his health didn't allow him. And so we send to the Imam of our time, ila maqam sahib al-asri wal-zaman, to the hawzat al-ilmiyah, to all of his students, and to all the lovers of Ahlulbayt and those who pursue ilm, our condolences. But there is something lovely that an alim who spends his whole life in Najaf, a neighbor to Ali ibn Abi Talib, for the rest of his life serving and disseminating the ilm of Ali ibn Abi Talib, dies on the day of Ali ibn Abi Talib, in the wilayah, the greatest day of the year. May Allah allow Imam Ali to be the first person he met in the akhirah. وَفَسَلَامٌ عَلَيْهِ يوم ولد ويوم مات وارتحل إلى الرفيق الأعلى ويوم يبعث حيا. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة.